It is Mental Health Awareness Month, a time to prioritize mental well-being. Joining us now to talk all about it, Nathan Miller with the Volunteer Behavioral Health Care System here in Tennessee. Nathan, you obviously understand this topic a lot. And what's really fascinating is when you talk about mental health, it affects so many people. 1 in 5 people will deal with mental health issue at some point in their life, right? That's close to 50 million people. Yet when you think about it, people often don't want to talk about it. Why is that?
That's great. Well, there's a great stigma that follows mental health, and it always has. That's been one of the biggest barriers that I have seen since I've been in the field of mental health for folks receiving treatment. It's just the fact that, maybe they think they're different, or they're going to be considered different or ostracized for, speaking out for themselves and their needs.
Right. And what I love before we even started recording here is you say, hey, look, it's okay not to be okay. There are normal people who are dealing with this, right? Like, I'll be the first to admit, I struggle with anxiety. I take a medication for it. It has changed my life in the best way possible. But I guess what we want people to understand is that this can affect anybody, and even with situationally, whether you're going through a divorce, natural disaster, different points of life require different things in your life, right?
And that's true. Anyone can have some type of mental health issue, whether it's something that they were predisposed to, genetically, or whether it's a situation or an event that's happened in their life. And that can happen at any age. It could be a trauma, it could be a divorce, it could be a death in the family, financial issues. A lot of those are situational type issues that, quote, normal people deal with. Right. But, they become a disruption in our lives, and then that's where the mental health concern comes in a lot of times, is where that, they're unable to function or unable to function normally. But normal people have issues. Everyone has something going on at some point in their life. Right. And you never know what's happening behind somebody's closed door.
Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing is, hey, spoiler alert, we all could use a little bit of additional help from time to time. And so you're not alone if you have to ask for it. But I do think it's helpful for folks to have their friends or family around them. They can start to look for those warning signs, specifically in adults, too, who might be reluctant to talk about it, right?
That's correct. And some of the warning signs, they could be isolation, they could be anxiety, they could be depression, issues with sleeping, eating, those type of things, maybe even the use or abuse of alcohol or substance abuse. Those are some things that can pop up. And as you said, friends or family that are around you are often the ones that will notice these first, sometimes before the actual individual suffering or dealing with a mental illness will.
Of course. And we also want to talk about children as well, because I think this is something that can affect young people, especially with the rise of social media. Maybe people are bullying, saying things online. I think this can get to children as well. Are there any warning signs specifically that you look for in kids?
Well, some of those can be anxiety, depression again, the isolation, maybe some behavioral issues, not wanting to go to school, not wanting to go to bed, and just, a general displeasure in what's going on.
And so say
isolating as well.
Right, and say you recognize these warning signs in an adult or a child. There are resources available for anybody at any given stage of life.
That's correct. There are private individuals who deal with mental health, private counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, as well as your local mental health centers that deal with those as well, like Volunteer. There are all types of resources, all types of grants. So if you have insurance, that's great. There are a lot of places that can treat you without insurance too. You just need to call and find out what you're eligible for.
And I think the best thing is for people, if they're even asking the question, hey, I think I might feel a little off, maybe just making that phone call, going to talk to an official or professional can help them kind of navigate next steps.
That's correct. Going and being checked out and talking to somebody is going to be way more beneficial, and that early detection, than letting it go and something else worse happening.
Absolutely. Nathan, thank you so much for your time. This is a very important topic to talk about. Of course, we'll have this up online for you at WKRN.com if you want to check back for any additional details.